Hello folks, it's Mike here again, and time for another video. If you've come here from Back to the Bikes channel, Neil has challenged people to upload 30 minutes of commentary. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do today. Also his mentor, SeaFlyFisher, has also got involved with this. And if you haven't seen their channels, I recommend you go over and have a look and have a watch of their videos. Lots of good stuff over there. So today we're going to have a short ride, half an hour or so, with some commentary, and we're going to head from here, which is Beacon Hill Services, and we're going to head up a little bit of the A140 and then some B roads across to I. Some of you who've seen my videos before will have seen the intro part of this video and will notice that the bike has changed. Triumph Explorer XRT now, the GTR, had 60,000 miles on the clock, so decided it was time for a change. So I'm now riding up high in the world, sitting up high on an adventure bike, slightly different style of riding, and over the last 3.5 months I've clocked up about 5,000 miles doing IM, observing, social riding, a bit of hunting down the bacon sandwiches and coffee and walnut cake, and I'm very pleased with it. So without further ado, let's get on and go out for a ride. So we'll take it as read that I've just ridden here, but done all my pre-ride checks, all my powders, so petrol, oil, water, drive and damage, electrics, rubber, steer and suspension. So first thing, start the bike up, wait for the computer to go through all its pre-checks, clutch in and get the engine started, and just make sure that all the lights are gone out that should go out. We've got a neutral light and we've got a flashing red ABS light, which will go out after a few seconds after we start moving. So select first gear, make sure none of these lorries here at the lorry park are moving around, and we'll head out onto the A140. So just coming out of the petrol forecourt here, just watching for any vehicles that are just filled up coming out. Nothing there. And the first thing here, we join onto the slip road from the A14. Just need to be mindful of vehicles coming in here at quite a pace. Nope, nice and clear today. And we're going to go left onto the A140. Just checking for vehicles coming under the flyover. And we're joining onto the A140, 50 mile an hour, vehicle ahead of us. And we've got a 50 mile an hour limit along here on this dual carriageway. So just see what this vehicle is up to. Gradually increasing up to 50 mile an hour, and he's going to go right. So in the distance we can see the dual carriageway go up here underneath the trees and bears round to the right a little, and we've got a white van some distance behind us and a silver van and small people carrier ahead of us. Plenty of space both forward of us and to the rear. Got the two lanes here and the road disappears, just holding my speed. Gradually gaining on these vehicles, so I'm thinking about whether we can go past, so I'm going to move out. As expected, they start to speed up a little bit, so I'm going to drop back in again. Dual carriageway is coming to an end. I'm checking the mirrors to see what other vehicles are coming up. Anybody's coming up quite quickly, but one vehicle in the distance is coming faster than the 50, and two lanes now merged down to one. So the A140, single carriageway now. So I'm sitting in about position 2.5. You can see well ahead of me. See the van behind me. Lorry approaching. So I'm going to ease over to the left hand side a little, just so any vehicles that may be thinking of an overtake can see me. And we're steadily maintaining our 50 mile an hour along this stretch of road. In the distance we can see the television mast, and the road is going to dip down just ahead of us, so we see the vehicles gradually disappearing, and that becomes our limit point. So plenty of traffic heading in down the A140 towards the A14. Double white line system here, slow on the road, junction sign for on the left. Just going to ease off a little here just to see if there's anybody about. There's nobody waiting in the junction. Double white line system is continuing through here, so we shouldn't have any problem with vehicles attempting overtakes, but you never know. You just can't assume that that won't happen, so you still need to be alert. And again, we've got another bit of a crest here where the vehicles disappear. And we can see now that the road goes round to the left. We've got slow painted on the road. Bit of a rise now, and we're going to come into 30 limits. So mirror checks, there's nothing behind us. Gently rolling off the throttle and bring the speed down so that we enter at 30 mile an hour. And then just pick up the drive again. This big 1200cc 3-cylinder bike will quite happily trundle through here in 4th gear at 30 mile an hour. No snatchiness at all, just with minimal throttle. Now we're going to go down a hill now, so I'm going to take 3rd gear just so the bike is held back and we don't have to run down the hill with the brakes on. And at the bottom of the hill we're going to be turning right to go towards Stonham Barnes. And we can see there's 1 or 2 vehicles queuing at the bottom of the hill. Road on the left hand side is closed, and we've got some roadworks in the middle of the road here. So we have got a refuge for right turn. Going to indicate and just checking the vehicles behind. Just watching the white van in the junction here. And another one. He's going to take his opportunity. So national speed limit sign, road goes round to the left hand side with the double white line system. Again, watching the vehicles come towards us, shouldn't be encroaching onto our side of the road there, but you never can tell. Ahead we've got a box van and two cars following it. Tucking over to the left hand side here for this right hand bend, so we get a nice view around the corner. And again we've got a bit of a rise where we lose sight of the road, so I'm just keeping my distance from these vehicles ahead in case they decide to brake. Not sure how the camera will be doing now as we're riding directly into the sun at the moment. And if we look across to the left here, we can see the road coming in from the left. Got a left hand bend here. Good to get those cross views across the fields so we can see what's coming up. And ahead we've got 30 limits, 30 painted on the road and 30 signs on either side for Stonham Aspel. So again, just rolling in, picking up the drive again, and we're in 4th gear. Road shows the sign wise left and right, but we're staying on this road. Just follow it round the right hand bend, just tucking over a little to the left in case there's any large vehicles come towards us. Got a school sign and a school safety zone which says 20's plenty, which is something a bit unusual to Suffolk. Non-standard sign. 20's plenty is advisory, it's not a mandatory 20 limit, but in some places they are backed up with a 20 in a red roundel, and then in those situations it is mandatory. So we're past the school area, back up to 30 mile an hour, just holding a position just a little bit out from about position 2.5, There's no point being out right under white line and having to move for every vehicle coming towards us. And we're just watching the little white Fiat ahead. We can see where the road goes, use him as a little bit as a marker as to what the road is doing. 30 miles an hour, easily stopping the distance so we can see to be clear. Just keeping an eye on all these entrances to houses, junctions on the left hand side here, another junction on the right. And we've got a chevron sign that shows us the bend goes quite sharply. So I'm not going to go right out to the edge because that car is going to come in quite tight. Go through in position 2. And immediately looking straight up the road, see how far we can see past this Fiat, and we see the road shallowly bends round to the right, and we can see national speed limit signs just ahead. So mirror checks just to see what vehicles are behind us. We have a car quite some distance from us, and as we come through the national speed limit sign, accelerate up to 60 miles an hour as it's safe to do so. So big wide open B road this is. Again, I'm going to sit here, position 2.5, and easily be seen by vehicles behind and vehicles approaching. Really no point in hugging that centre line along here. So now we're at sort of 2.5. We've got nice safety bubble around us, left and right, and in the distance you see the tree line goes round to the right. So mirror check to the left, and I'm going to dip over to the left hand side ready for this right hand bend. So nice early position, just junction on the left, so I'm not going right in. And again, see the limit point go round to the left hand side now, so out towards the white line, not right on it. So we've got a right hand bend here, car parked in the lay-by on the left hand side, no sign of movement. And we've got a couple of little bends here, and we can just take a straight line through the two. There's no need to follow the line of the bend all the way through. 30 limit approaching, mirror checks, still nothing behind us, and bring the speed down to 30 miles an hour, down to 4th gear. And we're going to go left at the T junction. There's a stop sign, which means we need to stop and not give way. So we just roll in, select 1st gear, and come to a stop. Check to the right, nothing coming, check where we're going to go, and away we go. So there's a blue vehicle on the left hand side here, looks like it's parked. Empty, just watching my speed doesn't creep up as we come down this hill. National speed limit sign ahead, again mirror check, still nothing behind us, and the road bends round to the left hand side. So I'm going to stay out near the centre line. Road sign says bend to the right, slow on the road, so we just hold a position and then tuck over to the left, ready for the right hand bend. Hold in that position until the view opens up. There the view runs away from us and we can start to accelerate again. So we've got houses on the left and right with junctions, just easing off a little in case there's anybody coming out here. No sign of anybody. There was a mirror on the wall there that people use to reverse out. Always a good warning sign there may be somebody about. And looking into the distance, we can see that the speed limit is about to change. Slow on the road, double S bend and horses sign. Now this time we're coming down to 40, not 30, so bring the bike speed down to 40 miles an hour. Again, holding position 3 here, through the bend, just watching the road and the limit point go away from us. There it goes. And we can see over there that there's a chevron sign, which is a good warning that the bend is going to suddenly go right, which obviously catches people out. So junction on the left hand side completely empty, so we can still maintain our position 1. Hold that position, and then the view opens up. Can't accelerate away because we're already doing 40 miles an hour. And maintain our position here in position 3. We can see that the road bends round to the left hand side. Just watching for any vehicles that may have been cutting across, and in the distance we can see national speed limit sign again. Road surface is completely dry, lovely day, lovely conditions for riding a motorcycle. So mirror checks, again, nothing behind us. Coach approaching in the distance. So rather than be right out on the white line, I'm going to go over to position 2. And now I can go back out to position 3 as the road continues to bend round to the left hand side. Just been watching these property entrances on the right. Road bends to the right side. We can see that the limit point is static at the moment. It's just moving a little, and there it started to rush away from us. Apply a little bit of acceleration, but we've got 30-mile-an-hour sign to come into the village of Debenham. Mirror checks, nothing behind us, and this time we're going to have to apply some brakes as well to get us down to 30, take a lower gear. We're coming down here past these properties to a T-junction, and we're going to be turning left. So mirror checks, still nothing behind us, no need to indicate. And just check to the right, nothing coming, but don't pull away until we're sure that there's nothing coming through on the left hand side. Quite often you see a lot of people just check to the right and make their turn with no looking to see what's going on to where they're going to ride. So we're now going into the village of Debenham. Obviously street lights, 30-mile-an-hour limits. Going to tone our position down a little bit, so mostly position 2, but where there's an advantage to be in position 1 and 3, then we will take it. So we can see that the road goes round to the left and then right here as it goes through the village and up the hill. Lots of parked vehicles on the left hand side, and this red car, what's he up to? It's just the sun glinting off him. Thought there were some lights, but it was the sun. So we just watch as we come over the top here. Vehicles coming towards us. Junction on the left. And we're just keeping the speed down. No need to go silly through here. Lots of parked vehicles. Pedestrians walking about, shops. Taxi on the left hand side who looks like he's doing a turn round. And a vehicle on the right hand side as well. Just looking at what's going on. The dog wasn't driving the car, by the way. So a vehicle approaching. I'm going to tuck in and let him come through, or her should I say. So just being courteous, no need to be bullying our way through. Junction on the left hand side, nothing in there, and in the distance I see national speed limit signs. Nothing behind us, just a little hatchback ahead of us. So does this mean we'll have an opportunity for an overtake, or are we going to be stuck behind on a twisty piece of road where we can't get past? Let's see what happens. So we're watching the limit point that is just ahead of the vehicle, although the limit point for us is actually the back of this vehicle. That's as far as we can see with the of clear tarmac. But obviously for an overtake we want to know what's ahead of the vehicle. Slow on the road. So what's happening here? Oh, there's a sign there saying possible pedestrians on the road. And it's quite a sharp left. And there the road straightens up and we can pick up speed a little bit. And in the distance we can see a sign for a double S bend. Excuse me. And again chevrons. Going to take third gear before we enter, so I've got plenty of drive through the corner. Apply the drive through the bends, and then it goes round to the left. Now this may be an opportunity for an overtake, so we'll close up a little bit, see whether the road is clear. Nothing coming. We waited till we're on the other side of the road before we actually did the acceleration, so that we can assess what's going on. And ahead the road is bending round to the right hand side, tucked into the left here, just watching the footpath sign there because there'll be pedestrians about. Hidden dip. Well, we're sitting up quite high so it hardly disappears for me, but in a car you can imagine you'd completely lose vision there. And again we've got double S bends. We've got a warning for tractors, slow on the road, warning for horses, bringing my speed down, tucked over to the left. Just holding my speed through here about 40. And then moving out for the left hand bends. And then the road opens up and we can get back up to speed again. So we've got a gentle, shallow left bend. The road just gently bends to the left and then to the right. So I'm looking as far into the distance as I can, try and plan for the most distant bend that we can see. So there's no need to adopt all those textbook positions. If there's nothing coming, we can see through we can take the straightest line through. Vehicle coming, I'm going to adopt my left hand position and then immediately it's passed, move out to the right for this left hand bend. Sign here with slow on the road. The sign is for left hand bends. Nice to see that they've actually cleared some of the foliage. We've got unannounced left hand junction there, or unsigned left hand junction should I say. I'm just going to ease over to position 2 here. And each time we come around the bend and the view opens up, we reassess, look into the distance, decide what we're going to do for the next stretch of road. So here we can see there's a house coming ahead, slow on the road, chevrons. Actually going to blend in a little bit of brakes here and take 4th gear. Just watching out for anybody encroaching on our side of the road. Not going to accelerate too hard because I can see there's a 30 limit ahead. And just roll in. Mirror check, still nothing behind us. And we're now at 30 miles an hour. Digital speedo is not very forgiving, so 30, 31. Keep flicking between those two. And we've got reasonable twisty piece of road here. But at 30 miles an hour we can easily stop in distance, you can see, to be clear. So I'm staying in position 2, 2.5. This is the village of right angles. So we've got a junction on the right hand side here. Vehicle just appearing, but he's stopped and having a look. And in the very far distance we can see national speed limit signs. Just watching my speed isn't creeping up. Houses on the left hand side here, so I'm going to move right out to the crown of the road. I've got a good view down the road now to the national speed limit sign. I can see a silver van parked on the right hand side in the field. Now, is he going to move away or is he parked up? Mirror check, still nothing behind us, and there's a white van coming down through the bends towards us. So I'm just going to hold position 2. Just wait until I'm happy. Yes, I'm happy to go now. Road sign saying that there's cattle, cows, whatever you want to call them, slow on the road. Just looking out for anything going on here at the farm. And again another double S bend coming up, slow on the road. This, if you notice that sign, it looks like it's the wrong way round because the actual bend actually goes right and then left, not left then right. Or was it the other way round? And here we've got a right hand bend with the junction on the left hand side. So as we come down here, the actual road we're on goes round to the right using the brakes. And sometimes there, because I'll be tucked over to the left hand side to go around that right hand bend, if there's vehicles waiting, it will actually indicate right even though it's my road, just so people know what I'm actually doing. Just watching all the farm entrances here. Road goes round to the right, we've got hazard lines appearing down the middle of the road again as the bend approaches. Tucked over to the left, just watching the entrance. And we've got a white van now that we're catching up. I'm just going to not get too close to him. I don't want to lose my view too much. Strangely, he's doing 30, 35 in the national speed limits. And as we come into the 30-mile-an-hour sign here, a small village of Ockhold, so down to 30 mile an hour. Left-hand bend ahead with a chevron on it. Again, a number of these bends along here that have chevrons on to try and warn people. Vehicle was indicating right. So probably he was looking for somewhere to go, was the reason he was going quite so slow in the national. Always be wary of vehicles that are going extra slow in national speed limits. There may be a reason why they're doing that. They're likely to make a sudden move to the opposite side of the road for where they're doing the delivery. So we've got national speed limit signs ahead, mirror checks and nothing behind us. A large articulated lorry come towards us, so I'm keeping well over to the left away from him. Adopting my position towards the centre of the road for this left-hand bend. And we lose the vision a little, and just by sitting up a little bit I can see more. The junction on the left-hand side, can't see anything coming in, but I'm just easing in a little. Looks clear to me. And here we can straighten up. No need to follow exactly the flow of the road. Nice early position for this right-hand bend. So we're trying to keep our movements on the road changing position for each of the bends to be nice and graceful, not sudden lunges to each bend and turn. And the road disappears round to the right here, so I'm just easing a little. And there we've got a 30 limit, and I'm going to have to brake actually on a bend as well, so nice gentle braking. Take a lower gear as we're going down the hill. Watching the debris in the road and the junction on the right. And we're now arriving in the village of Eye. So 30 mile an hour. Back to position 2. And this nice long 30 mile an hour as we enter into the village of Eye. So I'm just going to drift a little bit towards the centre of the road just to get a view around this corner. Just watching out for any parked vehicles. A parked vehicle on the right, so that means vehicles come towards me are going to come over my side. Just waiting for the view that we can see. So don't rush in. Everything nicely assessed, and in the distance we can see a blue van parked on the left hand side and a car coming in from the junction on the right. So just hold my speed down, making sure he's seen me. Post office van parked on the left. Watch out for the postie. Where is he? There he is on the path. So this is always interesting here, where we've got parking spaces and everybody trying to jostle for position. Large bus coming through. So I'm not going to rush in, just look at what's going on. Watching the vehicles on the right, anybody reversing. Just gently trickle through here. Still a 30 mph limit, but really not safe to do 30 mph at that point. So we're just trickling through 20 mph. We've got some roadworks here. Mirror checks. Got one vehicle behind us. Lights are green. Just watching change just as I was on top of it. So just watching these vehicles who are going to come over onto my side of the road to pass the parked vehicles. Plenty of room for both of us to get through there, so there's no point holding a dominating position there where there's plenty of room. I'd only hold a dominating position there to hold them back if they were going to crush me into the curb. So we've been through the centre of I, and I think that's probably enough commentary for today. Hope you found it useful. Hope back to the bike and SeaFlyFisher get to have a look at this, and if you've enjoyed it, please leave a comment. If you've got any questions, leave questions in the comments, and if you'd like to see me do a video on any particular subject, then please suggest it and I'll try and see what I can do. So I'm going to continue on now through to Wortham stores and have a cup of coffee, and nice to speak to you all again. This is Mike saying goodbye. Keep safe. Cheers.